Welcome to the December edition of Huskies Howl. I'm Curtis J. Phillips, Sports Information Officer for the Keyano College Huskies and sports writer for the ACAC. This month on Huskies Howl, we'll be talking to the men's and women's volleyball coaches along with the men's basketball coach, plus looking at the MNP Huskies Athletes of the Month for November. Welcome to Huskies Howl. And here are the nominations for Athletes of the Month, presented by MNP for Keyano Huskies Male. Błażej Podgórski Volleyball. In a 6-game sweep of the host Lakeland College Wrestlers Friday, November 6th and Saturday, November 7th, Błażej had a combined 21 kills. Luke Arthur, Soccer. In 30 Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference games the last 3 years, goalie Luke Arthur recorded an impressive 13 shutouts. A 2-time ACAC North Conference All-Star, and is proud that the Huskies played in back-to-back CCAA tournaments, placing 5th in 2014 and 6th in 2015. Steve Axford, Hockey. In a 2-game series against the host Concordia University of Edmonton Thunder at Clairview Arena in Edmonton, with the Huskies' 3-1 win and 4-4 overtime tie, Steve Axford, a 4th-year student athlete from Victoria, BC, accumulated an impressive 3 goals and an assist. David Depard, Hockey. In a home game 2-game series sweep against the visiting Briarcrest Clippards, Nippert, a 5'10" second-year forward, totaled an impressive 3 goals and 2 assists. And the MNP Athlete of the Month for males for the month of November, Błażej Podgórski from the men's volleyball team. Congratulations, Błażej. Now, what does this mean to you? You just found out now you're Athlete of the Month for the Keyano Huskies November. What does that mean to you?
Obviously, I'm very happy, but at the same time, I would like to say that it's not only me, right? Volleyball, it's all about a team, and I think that every guy from my team should be Athlete of the Month.
Well, that's politically correct. That's very well. Now, you have 2 players from your team from your same home country, from Poland. Maybe tell me about those 2 players.
Cornell was the first one who came over here with me. We were really good friends. The same with Alex. I really like them both, but we have some fights sometimes. But it's just a minor thing.
Now, is that the fights on the court or off the court we're talking about?
It's usually both. It's usually off the court and on the court. But like I said, it's just because we have all really, I would say, strong characters that we need, some fights in a team. But it's also good. Conflict is good sometimes.
Now that's part of being a student athlete and a young person growing up in university or college. You're coming to a new country, a new life. What were the major difficulties coming to Canada, aside perhaps from the snow? What were the major difficulties?
So basically, I think language was the first barrier that I had to go through. And then I don't know, there are not many difficulties. Canada is a beautiful place, and I got a lot of help from people like Keegan and other athletes and people who are in Keyano Huskies. So it was pretty easy to just, settle down a little bit.
And Keegan being Keegan Kerr, the head coach of Keyano Huskies, born in Fort McMurray. Now the Keyano Huskies are now ranked in the Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association men's volleyball. How does that feel, and does it mean anything to be ranked as one of the top 15 teams in Canada from coast to coast to coast?
Obviously, it's such a great feeling, right? Right now, we are top 10 in the country, and I think that we can do even better.
Now, how much better? Like, where do you want to be?
Well, obviously, our goal is to win nationals, right? Because this is the thing that every athlete wants. So maybe top 5. That's the next step.
Just to wrap it up, how would you say in Polish, Huskies want to be number 1? How would you say that in Polish?
Huskies chcą być numerem 1.
That's right. Huskies są numerem 1. Huskies #1, and that was Błażej Podgórski, our Athlete of the Month for MNP, Keyano Huskies for November. And right now, we're going to take a look at the nominations for Huskies Women's Athlete of the Month for November. And now, here are your nominees for the Keyano Huskies Female Athlete of the Month, as presented by MNP. Paige Spoor, volleyball. A third-year student athlete, Paige Spoor had a combined 14 kills and 6 digs as the Huskies swept the University of Alberta Augustana Vikings. Daniel McClellan, basketball. In a weekend 2-game sweep of the host, the King's University College Eagles in Edmonton, 5'11" forward Daniel McClellan, a first-year student athlete, totaled 19 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists. Alexa Ellis, volleyball. A third-year student athlete, Alexa Ellis had a combined 32 assists and 2 service aces against the host Lakeland College Rustlers. Kika Greenlee, basketball. Kika Greenlee, a fourth-year student athlete, continues to showcase her skills for the Keyano Huskies, as in a 2-game series against the visiting Concordia University of Edmonton Thunder, she totaled an amazing 58 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists, and 7 steals. And a lot of great nominations for the MNP Women's Athlete of the Month for the Keyano Huskies. And the winner is Alexa Ellis, setter for the Keyano Huskies Women's Volleyball Team. Congratulations,
Thank
Alexa.
you.
And what does that mean to be selected as Athlete of the Month?
You know, it's always nice to be rewarded for your hard work and effort out there. But yeah, you have to thank your team too, because I'm just the one that's putting up the ball for them to get me those assists and stuff.
Now, 5 players on the roster from Nanaimo, BC. It's kind of like we have a freight train or a WestJet coming with all those players. How did that happen? Were you one of the first? And how's that transcribed, all these players coming from Nanaimo?
Well, actually, Paige Spoor, the left side hitter, we were sitting in class one day and she was like, you know what, I just sent some videos up to Keyano College, you should do it as well. I was like, you know what, I'll do it. So I did it, and I think I heard like back a week later, and I said I'd come up, and then not shortly after she found out, and then Megan, she found out shortly after as well. So.
In all honesty, had you heard of Keyano College before coming here?
I remember my club coach talking about it a couple times, because he had a player that came up to play actually, and yeah, that's where it all started, I guess.
And what was the difference, the big jump going from high school in British Columbia to ACAC caliber volleyball with the 14, 15 teams competing now?
It was a lot different. Just because high school, everything's really slow, and ACAC, you want to speed everything up just to make that game so much better, I guess. And I remember in my first year, I was really upset because I didn't play as much as I wanted to, coming from grade 12 starting all the time. But it was a good learning experience, and you had to remember too that there was girls that were 24, 25 years old, like 5 years older than you, that had all that experience on you. So.
I have shoes that are 24 and 25 years old. I'm wearing them today, in fact. But now, you mentioned the life of a student athlete. What are you taking in Keyano right now?
Right now I'm in office administration.
And how hard is it to balance the life of a student athlete?
It's pretty difficult. I don't think we really get enough recognition for it. It's really hard when you're taking 5 or 6 classes. You have to balance your practice times, what times you're going to study, eating. Eating food's important as an athlete, and yeah.
And what does it mean for the Huskies in the years we've been in over 25 years, I believe, in the volleyball action? This is the first time in our 31-year history in the ACAC that we had a women's team ranked in the top 15 in Canada, CCAA. What does that mean to you as a player and a team?
You know, it means a lot, because in our first year, I remember we only had maybe won 2 or 3 games, and our second year, well, my second year, we won a little bit more, and it was really exciting. We had won our first game, and it was the first game of the season, and that's when I could tell that the program was like coming along really nicely. And then this year, our record was just amazing at the beginning.
And what's the difference?
What's the difference? I really don't.
Easy question to ask, hard one to answer.
Yeah. I really can't pinpoint it, but you can tell that just everyone that's on the team right now just puts in so much work, and we all get together so well and just come together on the court, and we're all just working towards that same goal of making provincials, being the best we can be, growing the program.
Okay, and being one of the best they can be is Alexa Ellis, the MNP, Keyano Huskies Athlete of the Month for November. And we'll take a look at some Keyano Huskies trivia right now, and we'll be right back with Keyano Huskies head coach for volleyball, Keegan Kerr. Hopefully you got some of those questions correct on Keyano Huskies trivia. Those were really tough, Keegan, you know, just watching those. And Keegan Kerr, a longtime member of the Keyano Huskies, played for the Keyano Huskies when they were ranked #1 in Canada in the CCAA, and now 5th year with the Huskies organization, 3rd as the head coach, and now they're ranked number 10 in the CCAA, playing a great season so far, 2015-2016. Keegan, what's the difference looking at the team as #1 as a player and looking at the team as number 10 as a coach now?
You know, when we were #1, it was the first time we had done that for men's volleyball, so it was just a really exciting time. We were hosting nationals that year, so it was big to show that we were ranked, and it was just an exciting time as a player. As a coach, it's nice for the recognition. It helps out with other players possibly looking to come to the program, and you can see that the guys are pretty excited about it too. So, you know, it just shows how hard they're working. You know, with the rankings and stuff like that, you know, they put in a lot of work, and it's nice that they're getting a little bit of payback with CCAA ranking at this moment.
And what does volleyball mean to your family? Your brother played in the ACAC, your sister currently, Melissa, is playing for the University of Winnipeg Westman. Your dad is out there taking photographs, Sports Illustrated type photographs for the Keyano Huskies. What does the sport of volleyball mean for the Kerr family?
It's meant a lot. We've all kind of made our own paths in the sport. We all were scholarship athletes, whether we were at Keyano College, my sister played at Red Deer, and now she's at Winnipeg. And you know, it's kind of helped us shape us, and you know, we're a big fan of volleyball right now, and I'm sure we'll continue to be, and I'm sure my brother and sister, you know, will get maybe into the coaching realm of it as well.
Now, when you look at ACAC volleyball, there's always that one team, Red Deer. You look at it, it is a dynasty. When you talk about collegiate volleyball, it's a dynasty. Limalu Titans, you know, out east have been a dynasty also. How does Keyano Huskies get into that ranking where they can be a dynasty winning championships?
I think it just comes with consistency. You know, you just every year it comes with good players coming to your program. If you're lucky enough to keep players for a couple of years, because I think that's really the reason that's the difference from this year to last year. Is guys are a little bit older, a little bit more mature. They understand what it takes to win. We've been through some tough times together, and I think that's important. And then they can relate that type of feeling to the other guys. And like I said, if you can bring in, you know, a few key pieces each year, you should be able to find yourself in the top.
Okay, that's Keegan Kerr, head coach of the Keyano College Huskies. Up next, we're talking to head coach of the Keyano Huskies women's volleyball team, Tommy Sloan. But once again, here's some more Keyano Huskies trivia. Welcome back to Huskies Howl. This is Curtis J. Phillips, sports writer for the ACAC and sports information officer for the Keyano College Huskies. And we're here with Tommy Sloan, head coach of the women's volleyball program. Now, Tommy Sloan, played as a Husky when they were ranked number 1 in the CCAA, and recently the women's volleyball team was ranked number 14 and 15. And Tommy, that's a first for our volleyball program. What did that mean to you, seeing as a coach the women's team being ranked, and also as a player being ranked number 1 in the men's program?
I think as a player it's more exciting than it is as a coach. So I think the girls, it was exciting for them to see that the work that they're putting in pays off. As a coach, I mean, I think it has value as a recruiting tool when your name is out there on a national basis where everyone kind of see if they're looking for teams to come play for. But I mean, for us, it was just it's a stepping stone in terms of our ultimate goals, which matter at the end of the year when we come down to playoffs and where we end up in the season.
Now we have a lot of key players. One I want to talk about is our athlete of the month, for the MNP athlete of the month for November, Alexa Ellis. What does she bring to the team, Alexa Ellis?
Yeah, Alexa's has worked hard this year, and she knew she was competing for a starting spot this year, and she brings an intensity and she doesn't like losing. So it's once we've learned how to kind of balance the frustration and the aggression, she brings that energy constantly to the team, and being our setter, she's kind of the quarterback. We run everything through her.
And now she's one of 5 players from Nanaimo, BC. How did we get that kind of freight train coming across with the girls to play? How did that happen? And can we continue to see players from BC coming?
It was before my time. It started a year before me with 3 of them. And then when I took over, it was kind of late in the recruiting season. So I had to essentially kind of go to the players that we had already and ask them if they knew of anyone that was playing. And because we had 3 from Nanaimo already, we ended up with, I think, 6 to start last year from the same high school, and we have 5 of them still.
Oh, and one player that, probably the heart and soul of this team in offense and defense, played at University of Brandon for 1 year, and is from Brandon, Manitoba, having played for the Bobcats, 2nd year for the Huskies, Nikki Friesen. How important is she to the Huskies' success this year?
Oh, I think I'd be lying if I said she wasn't incredibly important, and everybody knows that, and opponents know it as well, and you can tell how much time they spend on her and planning for her, and Nikki's one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic person, I think, in the entire league. And whether she's affecting the game with her own points, or whether she's being the distraction because everyone is so focused on her and allowing the rest of our team to succeed, and she kind of has a way to affect the game on and off the ball.
Now, we've had former coaches of the other coaches of the Huskies on the show before. Today we have yourself, Keegan Kerr. We've had Dwayne Vigilance, Connor Brady, all players who played for the Huskies, or some played for the Huskies, but all grew up in Fort McMurray. Yeah. How hard is it as a hometown coach to be coaching in your hometown? I
really looked forward to it when the opportunity came up to do it. I see it as a advantage when it comes to recruiting players. I know what I'm talking about when I'm promoting the city, growing up here, and it's been great having Connor, Dwayne, Keegan, all of us we've all grown up, so we're all in the same situation. We all understand what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here. And so we kind of have a lot of the same mentality. We feed off of that. We're all pretty proud of it, I think. And Keyano College is very proud to have that impact, that local impact with its coaches. And I think it helps me not only retain local athletes, but in trying to show off Fort McMurray as a place to come to, it helps with athletes from out of town as well.
I had the opportunity to coach all 4 of you in sports. So I wonder what they say behind closed doors when I'm not there about my coaching skills. But with the Huskies this year, what do we need to do to continue to perform and to get to the ACAC championship in women's volleyball?
I think we need to stay injury-free. For sure, we only have 13 players as opposed to most teams with 14 to start, and certain positions where we don't have a lot of players at all. So injury-free is important. So over the Christmas break and through the rest of the year, making sure that fitness is still a priority, and from there, we still have a bit in terms of learning how to win. We saw that the talent is there this year for sure. But a couple of the teams where we're maybe equally talented with have gotten our number because they're experienced, they've been to the championships, they know what it takes, and I think we're still in that learning process of knowing how to close out tight games. But I think this first semester has had we've tasted a little bit of everything, and I think next semester we know what our focus is very specific, and we have a good idea how we want to achieve it.
And that's Tommy Sloan, the head coach of the Keyano Huskies women's volleyball team. Up next, we'll be talking to perhaps the best dressed coach of 160 coaches in the ACAC. I'm here with Lunzaya Landu, perhaps the best dressed coach in the ACAC of over 160 coaches. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, CJ.
Now your background, before we get to the team, your background is quite impressive. You played on the Canadian national team. We've had a cup of coffee playing professional basketball in Canada. You also played for Western Carolina. That experience, you were assistant coach last year with the Keyano Huskies, head coach now with Huskies this year. Your experience as a player, what does that bring to the coaching ranks?
I think it brings a lot. I think you get a little bit more respect when your players see that you played at such a high caliber, and you try to emulate that in practice and in coaching style. So I really think my players do appreciate and bring a little bit more pedigree, I would say, to the coaching style.
Now, do you get frustrated out there because you just played a couple of years ago? Do you get frustrated saying, these guys should be making those mistakes, let me put on a uniform?
Oh, every day in practice, every day in game, I still feel like I could play the game. So yes, I do feel the pain sometimes, but it's a transition. It's part of a progress, right? So I do understand it now.
Now, the Huskies record right now?
Yeah, we're 11-1 so far in our league, and ranked number 6 in the country.
How important was, you had your opening game against the Nadukes, in the second game with the second left, from about 55 feet out, Brady McKay hit a three-point shot. Well, it's going to be a three-point shot that far out. I looked over. I saw you running around. It was like you won the NCAA championship. How important was that game? So early in the season, the second game, how important was that to the team to kind of mesh them?
I mean, it was great to win. At the last shot at the buzzer was unbelievable, an overwhelming feeling. And at the same time, we could have been down 0-2, but we went on and won that game at the buzzer and, won one record. It was a great feeling for the team, and we never quit. So that means a lot, too, for the team.
Okay, let's talk about a couple players on the team. We have a couple import players. We have three Australian players. Corey Richardson.
Corey's been great. Last year didn't have a great year, but came back, this year. He's looking really good. I'm expecting him to have a really strong second quarter and help us with that push for the provincial and national championship.
Orlando Main.
Orlando, same thing, get a little bit stronger over the summer. He's working really hard. He wants to prove that he belongs in this league, and same thing with him. I'm expecting a lot of leadership from him.
This next player, Blake Buckaroo Galatly, he was ACAC Rookie of the Year a couple years ago, sat out some. A player that has a lot of athleticism, but sometimes missing the concept of the game, perhaps.
Yes, perhaps, a couple years ago he was Rookie of the Year, so I'm trying to get him back to that mind frame that, keep playing the game. He's been hurt a little bit this year, but, we're working on his game as far as his dribbling, but he's getting better, so I'm expecting him as well to have a better finish to the season.
And as we're talking now, sometimes just with the student athletes, they may not play the second half through the academia, so some of these players may be talking about, in any sport, may not be playing. From Sweden, I believe, is Rami Gammon?
Yeah, Gammy is a surprise to this league. He's doing really well. I believe that he has a chance to be Rookie of the Year this year. His speed is, he's really fast. We just have to take care of some stuff academically because he's from Sweden, a little bit of a language barrier and some difficulties with class, but we do have the resources to take care of that, and we're hoping to have him back on the second semester. Matter of fact, we are going to have him back on the second semester.
Okay, three older players. Jesse Braverock, 6'8", but be honest, not the greatest hands inside. I remember the last game, 7 balls passed inside were knocked away. What does he bring to the team standing at 6'8", Jesse Braverock?
We're expecting a lot of defensive play from him. We're not really expecting him to score all the time, but his length He's protecting the rim for us. I think he's averaging like 3 blocks a game. So that's what we need from him, challenging shots, deflecting balls. This is really big when you especially go into the championship games.
And Triple D for defense, desire, determination, Demaine Nelson.
Demaine, I mean, you see him, he's a beast. Just his size, his presence, you know, it was really good for him, me and him to bond this summer as well. Extremely talented, and it's been good for us. So we need him to be even better.
And we can't get to all the players just with the time factor, but 2 local players I'd like to talk about, Jacob Simmons.
Jacobs, what a great guy. I think he put all the work during the summer and is reflecting right now during the games. I think the past 3 games been averaging doubles in scoring, playing extremely well. He's confident. He wants to play the game and he wants to learn. This is good for us, especially as a freshman.
Okay, a team averaging 90 points per game, giving up around 70. The motor in that engine, Kevin Dia.
Kevin Dia is pretty much the bloodstream of the team. He's the captain. He's the leader of our team. He really cares about his teammates. It's not about him. It's about the team. That's what I really liked about him, is somebody that I could rely on when I have directive to give during the game. And he really listens. So I'm really happy to have such a player on my team.
And the final, the X factor. The one player I think can take you over the top, Colin Whiteley.
Colin, I mean, he's the type of player that could do it all. Really, like you said, the X factor. You know, we're expecting a lot from him. We want to obviously be on his back, and we hope that he could continue to play well. We just got to tighten up some stuff, but overall, I'm extremely happy with his performance so far.
And you're hosting the national championships come March. You're getting in not just as the host, you're earning your way in, ranked number 8 in Canada right now. What do you see you have to do to win that? Any new players, any new faces, new laces to win that national championship at this level?
It's always good to, you know, to maybe get this extra one player that could be another X factor. But I really like the way that we're playing so far as a team. So I wouldn't like to change it. We just need to play better in defense and in offense as well, better execution. But overall, I think we got what it takes to go to win the championship.
And that's Coach Landu. He has yet to give me my game of horse. We had to play a game of horse. I used to make a living at that, so I got to play Olympic champion here in a game of horse in the new year. And that's Coach Landu. And thanks for watching Huskies Howl, the December issue.